Hello and welcome to Electro Nerds Academy. In today's video, we will discuss a fundamental concept in programming called arrays. Arrays are an important concept in programming, offering the ability to store multiple values of the same data type concurrently, unlike variables that hold only one value at a time. Think of arrays as storage containers with compartments, each capable of holding a piece of data of the same type. Let's see how we can write an array. We start by defining the data type of the array, which dictates the type of data the array can store. This is followed by the name of the array and a pair of square brackets. Inside the square brackets, we specify the length of the array, denoting the maximum number of elements that we can store in that array. Elements, the values stored within the array, are enclosed in curly brackets and separated by commas. In this example, we initialize an array of integer data type. Numbers is the array's name, and we are storing 5 elements in the numbers array, 3, 5, 2, 8, and 9. They are enclosed in curly brackets and separated by commas, forming a list. Another way in which arrays can be initialized is without specifying their size explicitly. Omitting the size within square brackets results in Arduino automatically determining the array's size based on the number of elements provided. Arrays support various data types, including float, string, byte, and char. However, it's crucial to ensure uniformity within an array. Each element must share the same data type. Arrays in Arduino follow zero-based indexing, meaning the first element occupies index 0, the second element occupies index 1, and so forth. Accessing elements within an array is straightforward. Simply write the array's name followed by the element's index within square brackets. For instance, in this specific array, to retrieve the value 8 located at index 3, you'd reference the array numbers followed by the square brackets enclosing the index 3. While arrays can be initialized with both size and values simultaneously, they can also be declared without initializing the elements. Later in the sketch, values can be assigned to specific indices by referencing the array's name and specifying the index within square brackets. For instance, to assign the value of 4 to index 2 of the array named numbers, you write numbers followed by the index 2 within the square brackets, then the assignment operator, the equals to sign, and the value 4, finally terminating the statement with a semicolon. Let's explore the practicality of arrays within Arduino by creating a simple circuit to control a set of 4 LEDs, making them blink one after the other. First, we'll assemble the circuit by connecting the LEDs to the breadboard. Each LED's negative terminal will link to the breadboard's negative rail, while their positive terminals will connect to separate rows. To regulate the current flow, we'll add current limiting resistors to the anodes of all LEDs. These resistors will connect to Arduino pins 7, 8, 9, and 10 via jumper cables. Once the circuit is set up, we move on to program our Arduino. In the code window, we first initialize an array called LED pins to store the 4 pin numbers connected to the LEDs, pins 7 to 10. Instead of setting the pin modes for each pin separately in the setup section using individual pin mode functions, we can use a for loop to accomplish this task more efficiently. We start by initiating a for loop, declaring a count variable I and setting it to 0. The condition of the loop checks if I is less than 4. Since it is, we execute the loop's body, which contains the pin mode function. Instead of specifying the pin number directly, we use the LED pins array with the count variable I inside its square brackets. Since the current value of I is 0, the value at index 0, which is 7, is set as an output pin. After completing this iteration, the variable I is incremented by 1, making its value 1. The condition is reevaluated, and since 1 is less than 4, the value at index 1, which is 8, is set as an output pin. This process continues until all 4 pins of the Arduino are configured as outputs. In the loop section, another for loop is used to blink each LED on and off, each for 500 milliseconds, one after the other. We introduce a variable named j and initialize it to 0. The condition of this loop ensures j remains less than 4. Currently, this condition is met, so we execute the loop's body. Within the for loop's body, we use digital write to toggle the LEDs on and off by writing to the elements of the LED pins array. The loop begins at element 0 of the LED pins array, corresponding to pin 7, sets the pin high, pauses for 500 milliseconds, then sets it low and pauses again for 500 milliseconds. As the loop progresses, the count variable j increments by 1, causing the code within the loop's body to shift to the next element, pin 8. Consequently, pin 8 is set high and low for 500 milliseconds each. This process continues until the loop reaches the fourth element. Then the Arduino exits the loop and returns to the top of the void loop section. Upon re-entering the loop, the Arduino repeats the process, blinking the 4 LEDs in succession once more. Now let's upload this code to our Arduino. After a successful upload, the 4 LEDs will blink one after the other. Up until now, we've seen and implemented one-dimensional arrays, which are simple lists of values. However, arrays can be multidimensional, and here's why we might need them. Imagine creating an LED matrix with 16 LEDs, arranged in 4 rows and 4 columns, connected from pin 2 of the Arduino up to analog pin A3. To create a simple smiley face, we need to light up LEDs at the following positions: row 0, column 0 and 3, row 2, column 0 and 3, and row 3, column 1 and 2. Using a single-dimensional array, we would have to look up each pin number from the list and set it high, which is tedious even for a small pattern like this. A better approach is to use a two-dimensional array, allowing us to refer to each LED by its row and column number. Declaring a two-dimensional array is similar to a one-dimensional array. Specify the data type, array name, and the number of rows and columns in square brackets. We can convert our LED matrix into a two-dimensional array by initializing the pin numbers as array elements, where each pair of curly braces represents a row. So we have 4 such rows, and each row has 4 elements signifying 4 columns. Next, we set each LED pin in the matrix as an output using nested for loops, which means a loop inside another loop. The first loop initializes a variable I and assigns it a value of 0, running until I is less than 4, since our array has 4 rows. In the loop body, another for loop runs with a variable j, also less than 4, representing the columns. Within this loop, we set the pins as outputs, accessing the elements of the array with I for the row index and j for the column index. When the loop runs for the first time, the value of I is 0, which is less than 4, so the condition is true, and we move to the body of the loop. Here, the second for loop runs with j starting at 0. The pin at index 00 is set as an output, then j increments, and the process continues for all columns in the first row. Once all columns are processed, I increments, and the same process repeats for all rows. Now, let's light up the LEDs according to our pattern. We simply use the digital write statements, and instead of writing the pin numbers directly, we refer to the LED pin arrays, specifying the pins by their row and column numbers. We light up the LED at row 0, column 0, row 0, column 3, row 2, column 0, row 2, column 3, row 3, column 1, and finally row 3, column 2. Upload this code to your Arduino and observe the pattern. You can create your own patterns, words, symbols, or emojis. Thank you for watching this video. Stay creative, and see you in the next one.